The second half, do you plan to run the game out and try and get hold of the D's late?
Yeah, we've got 34 up our sleeve, so we're just going to rotate that pretty aggressively. Yeah, that was our plan going in, but we'll hang in early and see if we can use a few later.
Hope you're right, mate.
Good work.
Cheers.
Alan Richardson speaking there with David King as we go into the final term. It's a 14-point ball game. Holmes tries to flick it at the second attempt. Dunstan in trouble, but he gets the hand pass away. The ball was touched. Stevens affected the spoil. Comes towards Oliver. He gets dumped. Goes to ground.
Found that really interesting listening to Alan Richardson talk to David King about rotations. So at 90 rotations, do you use 22, 23 a quarter? They've banked a few. So they've kept 34 for the last quarter to try and make a real surge in the final 30 minutes.
Gilbert. Up towards Rewalt, just not sticking at the moment.
And that'll be a strategic issue for the clubs, Jared, as to how they use those 90 rotations.
Yeah, you'd think some would go early and try and get through the middle half and then bank some for the latter part of the game. Goddard and McCartan are also just two really exciting young names that St Kilda haven't got out the track. McCartan injured. Goddard, I believe, still trying to fight for his position.
Savage gives it to Armitage. Bends it back. Oliver does well. Good hand pass to Salem, who flicks it to Jones. Just 15.
So there's two young guys with great awareness. The hands from Oliver and the kick from Salem.
Which Nathan Jones wasn't expecting.
No, he wasn't.
He couldn't believe it. It was a beauty.
Comes down the line towards his tall timber in Gawn. Roberton has found a second win, at least for the moment anyway. Armitage putting them inside 50 once more. Garland couldn't complete the mark.
You see,
Roberts,
they're the little
tackles.
They're the little things. Colin Garland did everything right body-wise, and then he drops the mark. So automatically they're under pressure. But now McDonald gets the free kick.
From the back pocket, McDonald goes to Gawn. A little too far underneath it. Gilbert onto that trusty left foot. Puts it back from whence it came. Rewalt is there, couldn't take the mark. Bruce throws it away, and that's going to be a goal, and it is to St Kilda's Jackie Newnes.
Yeah, retreat forward, 50 entries.
Jared, I think that's where...
Sorry, David.
I think that's where, Jared, you're going to see the rotations come into effect. This forward pressure that the Saints are renowned for, the pressure they put on when the ball hits the ground, that's where they're going to get their goals. I think having 34 rotations saved and banked for the last quarter, that's what gives them a chance to win this game today.
Yeah, that will be fascinating to see how that unfolds, particularly if we see St Kilda rally and come over the top.
And the interesting thing is, Melbourne used 76 rotations in the first three quarters, so they've only got 14 left, as opposed to St Kilda having 34. It's more than double.
66, Jason, if you take the changes out of the break. So they've still got 20-odd, but there is a big discrepancy.
Newnes gets his first goal. Been a good player last year, played in every game. This is Grimes towards Watts. March in front of Montagna. Goes short to Nathan Jones from 55. Kicks into the man on the mark. That was Fisher. These might get another chance through Kennedy. Jones running out of room. Kennedy there as well, but he officially sees it over the line. Really hard work at Nathan Jones. Leads by example. A recent member of the 200 club. 201 games he's played. Gawn forced to get down, give it to Salem. He goes short to Oliver. Oliver in towards half forward. Kick had to be good here. Watts, that's all right. Gives it away quickly to McDonald. And Hogan couldn't complete the mark.
It's the sort of day he's having, Jesse Hogan. It wasn't a bad pass at all. But in the end, he went for an awkward chest mark when he should have taken it in the hands.
Laterally, went sideways.
Just need to attack it with the hands. And that happens when you're down on confidence. You try to pull everything into your chest rather than trusting your hands.
So still in the danger zone as far as St Kilda is concerned. Savage and, well, solidly met by Jones. Flick back towards Hickey. He's got to beat a couple. Bernie Vince on the bottom there. McDonald into the pocket and smashed over the line.
You can just see the effects of the rotations kicking in, but Nick Rewalt going for a stride on the wing here. Looks like he's suffering a little bit of cramp in that left hamstring and is making his way off. We hope it is only a cramp.
Well, that kick from McDonald really didn't advantage Melbourne at all. Had to go to Big Max Gawn.
Gawn did well to bug off to Viney. Left foot snap. For the 5th time today, finds the woodwork.
It was a well-worked plan, wasn't it? A little tap over the back, and then they found a left footer running into that corridor space.
Savage takes the kick in. Goes short to Gresham.
That doesn't look great, Kingy, for Nick Riewoldt. His face suggests that he might have a few issues.
Well, I just saw him grab for the left hamstring as he was about to put some pressure on, so there may be an issue here.
Salem in towards Hogan and Co again. It bounces over the top. It's bounced all the way through. A super goal to Christian Salem.
Well, it was kicked to the top of the square, and I'm sure he was thinking, that's not a bad kick to advantage. But it was able to get no pressure on, and it just rolled through nicely. Good hands from Jones, sets up the shot. And there it is, and well, when you don't watch the ball, it can get away from you, and Dylan Robertson had the chance there to probably just sweep in behind if he had kept his eye on the ball in flight.
Hampton Rovers will enjoy a bag of Sherrins.
Indeed.
Fantastic stuff.
Well done, Salem. Now, the Saints through Stephen go wide. They need a couple of goals in a hurry here if they're to stay in it. Nunes inside 50. McDonald, claim, loses it. Bruce. Yeah, it was a good tackle.
That was paid by the umpire up in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, it was.
Had a better angle.
Good team umpiring there, wasn't it? Because the guy in charge, he was blindsided. He had 3 or 4 players in front of him.
So Weller rewarded for the tackle.
That's 15 seconds.
Let's see if he can finish it off on the scoreboard.
If you like the scoreboard clock, Jason, it's currently at 10, 9, 8.
Well, it lets everyone know exactly how much time he's had, and it's a good guide for the umpires as well.
3.
Only has to start the run-up before it expires.
Which he did. And he's going to be close. He's got it. Weller gets his first goal. The Saints reply, but not a super goal, but it keeps them in touch.
9 points. Yeah, good.
Kingy, have you got an update for us on Nick Riewoldt?
Well, let's have a look at what we think is the left hamstring giving way here. He just takes a stretch here to go and put some pressure on Oscar McDonald, who's in front of him, and you can see him clutch for that left hamstring straight away. It's only a short, sharp movement. He's on his way down to the rooms to seek some further medical attention, but that left hamstring has given up on him this afternoon.
That's not good news for Saints fans or Nick Riewoldt, who's
Not a bad tear, but
he did jog off. You don't normally jog off when you've torn a hammy, Jared, do you?
No, I think it'll be more in the cramp department. He didn't really pull up super short, so...
Remembering he was scheduled to play his 300th game in round 2. Pedersen couldn't take the mark. It matters not because Hogan's got it now and he pumps it high and long and straight. Big goal from Jesse Hogan, and no problems with that one, gentlemen.
No stutter step, Jared.
No stutter, Jason.
Because
Lines
it's
it up on his
instinctive.
right foot.
It's instinctive. You don't have time to think about, oh, what do I have to do here? I've got to kick it between the wide sticks. It's a field kick. You play with your natural instinct, and he does it so well. But once players have to stop and think about what they're doing and have the time to consider missing, kicking, results, impacts, all those sorts of things, what plays tricks on their minds. But when you look at natural footballers...
Well, this guy's a natural footballer.
Correct.
We haven't seen that stutter approach and the ball on the right hand, the left leg, and then the right leg, then back to the left leg before. It's as if it's he somehow worked that system over the summer period.
So out of the middle.
Can't imagine it's going to last, Jason.
Akers works hard, so too does Ross, but Jones and Tyson have got them covered.
Thanks, guys.
There's no problem with him doing all the stuff he's doing if he's kicking at 70%. I mean, you do what works for you. But it isn't working, and that's what we're seeing. And we can see obvious reasons why it's not working.
Well, Gawn won the tap, but he lost in the free kick department. Seb Ross goes wide, very wide to Fisher. And Sam's under a little bit of pressure there as he tries to get it away cleanly towards Nathan Wright. He's under the pump as well. Oliver comes in over the top. Pedersen is there too. He's got the footy at the moment. Now Akers steals it, but who can he give it to? He held it for a long time before he eventually found Geary. Interesting little kick, if you can call it that. Garland through heavy traffic. Finally they're clear. Pedersen takes it away from Frost. Goes in towards Hogan. Play on. Hogan wants a free kick. He's not happy. He lumbers towards the umpire, and look at the Demon fans.
He can't believe it. Jesse Hogan. Well, I think he's entitled to say he had the left hand up over the shoulder pulling him down.
Pedersen pushes towards goal. Akers leads in the race. Ross goes wide. Now there was a push.
That'll thrill the Demons fans, won't it, Jared?
So the Saints still with a chance. There's plenty of time. Under 14 minutes remaining. Jack Billings had a great first term. Booted 3 goals. None, however, since then. They need the next one fairly smartly if they're going to be in with a chance. Ross down the line. An effective spoil from McDonald. And we've got a throw.
It's a bitter pill to swallow, but the reality for Jesse Hogan is he's still got to play to the whistle.
Correct. And he didn't bounce up straight after the contest, did he?
He kept pleading and looking for a free kick that was never going to come.
And there will be days as a forward where you get monstered by defenders and feel like you should have half a dozen free kicks and you don't get them.
Ross.
You've got to keep your body language up. You've got to not let it affect your own performance.
I think the more you play
for your teammates see you get you down.
Jetta chops it off. He may go backwards. He does to McDonald, who can come towards Viney. And he does. So they've made the switch. They look towards centre wing. The big fly was by Wagner. Has it stolen. Now Weller. Gives it away to Akers. Viney couldn't get him. An opportunity now.
Why not just kick the goal?
That's
he should have kicked at Billings. He could have got his 4th.
That's the most extraordinary decision to kick it there, isn't it? 4 metres straight to the boundary.
It's a brain fade. I mean, that is taking possession footy to a level that we never want to see.
Well,
that's just a shot at goal.
He's got a training top on, Nick Revolt.
Yeah.
So he won't be taking any further part.
Again.
The good news is I don't think there's any ice been applied just yet. So, or as it goes on right now,
as we speak.
I'll take back that good news.
Putting it on down on the calf, not the hamstring.
Is that better or worse, Jason?
That'll be better.
You think it's better,
That'll
Jerry?
be better.
I've seen some players with calf injuries that they just cannot get right.
Tyson, clever little flick towards Vince, who kicks to centre wing. Savage chops it off. Not 15. Gee, they've been lightning on that today. So Akers gives it quickly towards Montagna. It kicks towards the big man department in Bruce and Co. But Pedersen chops it off with a fine back mark.
He's got an outflow
with Viney. Oh, taken high.
Mind you, he shouldn't be dropping that mark.
That was a really interesting one. It was almost like he put his head in the way.
Sam Gilbert, the man in question.
There's another little milestone up for grabs here, Jared. Only 4 times last year under Paul Roos did Melbourne hit the 100-point mark offensively, and I think that's a real fillip for their confidence going forward under this new Goodwin plan if they're able to do it almost instantly.
Well, if they can keep St Kilda, that ball went out to less than a goal. They've got themselves in the premiership window that we talk a lot about. Scoring over 100 if they can kick another goal and keeping the opposition to less than 80 odd.
86, and that's 15 of the last 16 premiers have been in there. Hawthorn have been locked in there for about 8 years.
Whether or not you can do it against those in line for premiership honours is the great test, as all clubs going up the ladder have to battle against.
Oliver, the look-away hand pass. He was aiming for Patterson, but Stephen was there.
A few players getting frustrated with lack of decisions. That's a free kick because he just reached out and placed it over the boundary line. Scored a try.
Yeah. So they go again. Hickey got a hand to it. Ross throws it up in the air. Stevens one more. Jack's kick goes up towards centre wing, and the mark taken by Wagner.
He moves well.
He goes to Watts.
Let him run.
So this kick's got to be accurate here because it's a 2-on-1 battle, and James Harms has got the job ahead of him now. Savage right there with him, finds the line. Holmes comes across to contest the throw-in once more with Gawn. He tries to flick it out the back, but it's taken by Ross. Goes up towards centre wing and Bruce. Nothing up forward.
Oh, well done, Colin Garland.
And Garland provides an excellent tackle and wins the footy. Plays on quickly. Gives it to Bernie Vince, who offs to Jetta. Goes even wider to Gala. Look at the pace. Look at the pace. Away he goes. In fact, it was Kennedy. Kicks up towards the forward line. Hogan is there. No one able to take it cleanly. It's left to Robertson. Popped the hand pass up instead of electing to take a kick. Now Maxi Gord's got it. Pokes a hand pass out in front towards Hogan. He goes boom, crash opera. And it's a high tackle deemed.
Yeah, it's interesting that one, isn't it? Yeah. The umpire was a little bit covered in terms of his view of the incident, and he was late blowing the whistle. He didn't see exactly where the contact was, and I think the reaction of the player in Nathan Wright was what afforded him the opportunity to pay the decision.
Yeah. So they push towards the line. Here's Armitage going with the left foot in towards the middle. Gresham is there.
2-on-1 forward.
Yep. Here it goes. It's Wagner and it's Loney. And it's the boundary line.
Yeah, I thought they could have hung on to it, the Saints. Run and carried, drawn, given a hand pass.
Under 10 minutes remaining in this game. And then we head west for the Essendon West Coast Eagles clash to round out the NAB challenge for 2016. Holmes trying to poke it wide. A chance once again for Kennedy, who kicked a goal in the first term. Viney and return back towards centre wing. The D's get the next one. It's going to be very tough for St Kilda as Gilbert pounces on it. But pouncing on him was Kent. Tyson gives it away to Grimes. Goes down towards Hogan, who spills one. Akers, gee.
He's having a match.
He's having just a couple of bad moments.
It's just been one of those days.
Viney.
And they come for every player. It doesn't matter if you're the best player in the game. You have days like that.
Viney down the line. Hogan was shoved out. It's all to no avail. Armitage again. Ross picking up plenty of disposals. They've got players streaming. Gresham is ignored. They go for the doctor for a 9-pointer. And Nunes away to the left.
Needs to keep his chin up, Jesse. It's not working for him, but he's frustrated. Frustrated with himself as much as anything, thinking, what am I doing? That's just an absolute soda for me. This isn't good news. With Jetta limping off, and he is in real difficulty.
So we'll get a report on that from David King, but it doesn't look good for Jetta. Wagner taken in a 360, but he gives it to Gawn.
It's a really good ball won there by Jack Viney. It could have gone straight back over his head.
Salem to Garland. Looking for Frost and finding him. Short, that's going to be okay. Once again, the mark taken by McDonald. Oscar.
McDonald on the inside. At this stage of the game, though, it's just as good going down the line.
And that's where he goes. Finding Frost.
Gives the impression he could play that lead-up forward role. Does it quite well.
Yeah, he was pretty good the first.
Oh, dear! That is a big fly.
Thomas Bug.
And he's just arrived back on Mother Earth, Tommy Bug. Boy.
I want to see where he got the lift from. He just rose out of the middle of a pack. That looked fantastic. He's landed awkwardly. Let's hope he can...
Told to move it along.
Straight on Max Gorn's shoulder. Thank you, Maxie.
Down to 6-5.
Deserves a goal.
He's okay. He started his approach. Can he finish off an amazing mark? Yes, he can. And that could just about be it. Tommy Bug gets his first after taking the mark of the day.
You can understand why he's smiling. Because he's not known for this, I wouldn't have thought. He gets a nice run and jump and a good lift off a teammate.
To go back and slot it, though, that's just a great package.
Gee, he owes Max, doesn't he?
No, it's a real bug's life, that one.
The Demons have hit the 100.
And there's Jetta's injury again.
Just see he gets a knock on the inside of that left knee.
That's good news. Just a corky.
Well, the magic spray's out.
Sweet.
What is that spray, Jared?
It's just a coolant. I'm not sure it works. It just takes away. It makes you feel worse to take away your attention from the actual injury.
You think there's a bit of placebo effect
There's
about
no
it?
doubt about it.
23 points. There's a ripping tackle from Viney on Stephen. 23 points is the margin. Tough now for the Saints. They need at least 4 unanswered goals if they're to have any chance in the final 7 minutes of the game. McDonald.
It's not a placebo as such, but it sort of gives you something else to worry about. If you've got a sore left shin, if I kick you in the right one, you don't worry about it.
Well, that was a poor kick, and that was a poor take by Weller. He's going to have to go again, but they pounce on him. Trying to get it out was Billings. Not successful. Viney working hard. Out the back door it comes to Garland, who gives it off now. Here they go. This is Kennedy. Up towards the forward line, up towards the 50. No one at all at home.
That should be deliberate.
Is that deliberate?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Because he didn't have any teammates to kick to. He actually ignored the short lead of Jesse Hogan and went long. No doubt he was looking for the boundary line.
Sam Fisher.
Did you ever use the magic spray to numb it up?
Probably at some stage. My memory's a touch foggy, Jared. Tried most things at different stages.
I think when I was playing at the start, at least we were putting heat on those things. Things have changed.
Here you go, the Saints towards Robinson, who was taken high.
Just a few too many handballs today to players under pressure.
And that kick a little too much on it, so the door opens for Wagner. Gives it to Kennedy. Kennedy back to Nathan Jones. Pops it back. That was a lightning hand pass to Viney. Going long. Hogan couldn't take it off the ground. Yes, he can. He's got one.
He still can't believe he dropped another mark. He is so frustrated. He had the position. He dug in. He thought, easy chest mark here. And even after he kicked the goal, he got up, held his hands out and said, what are you doing? How are you dropping that?
I don't think he's getting enough clearance, though, with his wrestle. He's sort of, the bloke's still being involved. He's not overpowering the guy on top of him. Great handball there from Jones.
A good angle here to look
kick
at
from Jack Viney.
Oh, he did that perfectly.
Yeah,
he held him off. Yeah. That's just a simple chest mark that he can't believe he dropped.
Yeah, no, that's spot on.
Second goal.
I love the reaction.
It's a very uncomplicated kick off the ground, though.
I've got to change these hands.
That's good to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to see a few players get over there. It's not life or death. It's not the end of the world. You've had a bad day. A few haven't stuck. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
He's got 2, both in this term, and made it fairly safe for the Demons as Akers was well claimed.
I wonder what the conversation was with Jack Watts.
Well, I had a bit of a giggle, Kingy, so Jack might have just said, I know what you're going through.
Mate, I've been putting up with this for a long time.
Holmes and Max Gorn, who flicks it over his head. Bug again.
Oh, good hands.
Now Viney accepting the hand pass, which was good. Up towards Hogan again. Long way from home. Jetta, can he keep it in? No, he can't.
Overall, Kingy, what's your thoughts on where these two sides are headed
Garland
this year?
I think when you look at where they're coming from, Jared, 7 wins last year to Melbourne, 6 to St Kilda, you'd like to tack on a couple more minimum onto both of those.
Yeah.
But I think the big dilemma for the Melbourne Football Club as a club is, do they hand the keys back to Paul Roos come round one, given what they've seen over the pre-season period and the first 3 weeks of NAB Challenge, or do they roll on and make a decision that the caretaker period is done? Because they look like they're playing a different brand totally, and it's really effective.
Wagner in trouble on centre wing. Hickey goes inboard. That's okay to Montagna. Here's a chance for Gresham. And he takes the mark, the youngster.
He's got some options.
Wants to play on, and he does. That's okay. Had a couple of options. And he's picked out Loney.
We'll probably need a little bit more from Kingy on that suggestion. But...
Well, look, I think it's a very interesting question to discuss the merits of. I mean, we've seen Paul Roos today sitting on the bench, chatting to the players and having that sort of role. But if you were to continue, and there he is right there, if you were to continue on in this vein, you've got to make sure there's a very consistent message.
Luke Dunstan gets the goal. Dunstan gets his first. And the Saints get their 12th.
17 possessions for Luke Dunstan, a goal. He's had 3 clearances, 4 tackles. Just a workmanlike performance. But he's going to be one of those young stars that St Kilda are going to build their team around in the coming seasons.
Saints opening up with Port Adelaide, then the Bulldogs, and then Collingwood. So tough early challenges.
What about the Saints, Kingy? Where do you see their improvement? Needing time to think about that.
We'll get back to him. And we'll go back to the middle in the meantime with Holmes and Gawn. Won by the former. Jones, however, gets it out of the middle with a long soccer kick down towards Holmes. Beaten for it, however, on this occasion. The Dempster hand pass is okay towards Savage. He goes short and finds Armitage.
You look at the Saints, Jared, and I think the next wave needs to take control. Last year, their senior players were very good for them, as you'd expect them to be. I mean, that they are the senior core of the football club, but you'd like to see this next wave take control now. You've got the Loney, Jack Billings effect in the forward line. McCartan needs to get some more football into him. Bruce is a star on the rise. We know that's it. They've got the makings, but you still feel like they're a couple of good draft campaigns away from really jumping up the ladder.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Would have loved to have seen Hugh Goddard jump up through the pre-season, so he's a certainty for round one, but that's not the case.
Well, he's going to be an important player for them, though, Jared, because it's, when you look at St Kilda, it's the spine that I find a bit of concern.
Well, I think Carlisle obviously is going to be there next year, and you'd hope that Goddard would take one of those spots that are inevitably going to be exposed when Sammy Fisher gives it away.
Kent to Salem. He's on the wing. Just pops it up short to accommodate Grimes.
Yep, you're right.
Jack's at an interesting stage of his career, Jack Grimes. He's gone back, he's gone forward, he's back on the wing. He's looking for a spot to make his own.
Dempster hand pass okay. Hogan unable to get an effective run at that ball on that occasion. Grimes couldn't mark it. Akers led in the race for a moment. In trouble is Kent. Gives it away back to Grimes, partially smothered by Akers. Ross gets a call from Jack Stephen. Takes it now. Billings spilled it but recovered. Saints slowly but surely finding Gilbert, who goes down the line. Going to be kept in play, but Salem chips in and he gives it to Wagner. Wagner goes into the middle, and the D's maintain control through Dom Tyson. Giving it away to Watts, who can go all the way to the other side of the ground. McDonald can drop it, but still have enough time to pick it up and recover. Could have gone back to Watts, but elects to go down towards Nathan Jones on the wing. He'll come in the middle to Vince.
They're the things that Oscar McDonald needs to work on. I mean, to drop a simple mark and then a sloppy kick follow-up. Look, it's late in the game and, you know, we're just about done. But if you're going to play at a high level, you've got to get those little lapses out of your game.
If you're playing in that back half, you're going to get exposed pretty quickly if you drop the ball when you should be taking marks, or you can't hit a target 25 metres away.
Jetta gave it to Salem, who gives it to Wagner.
I think they'll be pleased with Tom McDonald's game today. He was a bit fumbly last week, missed a few targets, but today he's back to one of his better performances. get to re-sign with the club, but such a pivotal part of the rebuild under Simon Goodwin.
Jetta back on with that left knee strapped. Pedersen, a tackle. Jones and Oliver squabble over it. Oliver wants to go again, and he does. Well done by the young man, and then just pumps it long. But it's been a free kick. There's holding on.
Why on earth would you hold and the ball's going out on the full? You can't believe it, Sam Fisher. Yeah, Sam Fisher saying he was holding me.
Sheer weight of numbers, that one, Chase.
Well, the umpire can only go on what he sees, and if you're both holding, he sees one hold first, that's the one he'll pay. They've probably both got a handful of jumper. It's just that you can see Fisher holding Hogan's jumper a little easier.
Right, the set shot. What's he going to do here?
He's even got a stutter in his run-up when he's doing a banana, Jared.
And Roosy's. Look at the smile on Paul Roo's face.
He knows it's a work in progress.
But it matters not. The Demons have won the game, and they, like Fremantle and Collingwood, undefeated in the NAB Challenge, winning one Super Goal 14-14, 107 to the Saints 12-11, 83, an eventual margin of 24 points. How did you assess it, Jared?
Well, it's a pretty impressive performance by Melbourne. I thought that they would go in and win this match simply because they're a game ahead of where St Kilda are. St Kilda haven't got their best side in it, most notably Nick Riewoldt hasn't had much preparation. But I've been pretty impressed with the performance of Melbourne right throughout.
Interesting, that ice, Jared, started on the calf, it's now up on the knee.
Yeah, I think that's there after every game, though. He's got that degenerative knee. That's just part and parcel of being a 34-year-old playing AFL footy. But right now, I think Melbourne will look forward to their round one battle with the GWS. David.